Hey guys, Shane here with Prosperity Painting Consultants. Today I wanted to talk about estimating, and there's a lot of different theories on estimating, and there's no really right or wrong way to do it. And for me, a lot of it just depends on where you are in your business. You know, if you're the one-man show that is doing the estimates and doing the painting, estimating for you is going to be a lot easier. And you go to the house, you see what you need to paint. You're going to be looking for things like how steep the roof is, you know, if the ground is level, oh, there's a pond there, that's going to be hard to work around, I need to add some more time in for that. It's a lot easier when you're at that level. Now, when you start to hire painters and you're trying to estimate a house, that's when things start to change. And for me, you want to systemize it as much as possible. Now, that's a process that takes time. What I've done over the last, 10 years is figured out how long does it take to paint all these different substrates and different heights and every possible scenario. And I've actually made an Excel sheet that breaks down, how much time it takes to paint all these different things. One coat, two coats, fascia that's 3 stories, 2 stories, first story, the eaves, depending if they're their own color, trim color, body color, what is it like when there's brick on the house and you're painting the eaves, all these different scenarios. And that's something that I'll just give you if you're one of my clients and, just go over with you. And really then it's just about what the wage rate is in your particular area. It might be different down in Texas versus up in Minnesota. So you just want to make sure the wage rate, that's basically the number you plug in. But back to the point, you need to figure out, okay, if we measure the outside of a house, we can figure out, how much surface area you have to spray, how many doors there are, if there's any specialty things like it's a vinyl window versus a wood window, how many linear footage of fascia, of trim, of eaves, all these different things, and you're basically going to plug this in and figure out how much time does it take to paint the house. Then you just need to figure out how much money you want to make. You're going to have to mark it up for profit, for overhead, for all the other business expenses that are there, and everybody's overhead and how much money they want to make is going to be a little bit different depending on where you're at. If you start hiring sales guys, you might want to add in a little bit more so that you have money to pay them, that kind of stuff. But anyway, you want to figure out a system, and then that's how you get your number. And then that way, when you are actually hiring painters and paying them hourly or paying them based on the job, there's consistency. Hey, this job is X amount, you're going to get paid this much. This job is X times 2, you should be getting paid twice the amount on that. So that way there's consistency, your painters are happy, you don't have high attrition turnover, and you keep the good guys around kind of deal. So that's estimating. I could go on for days about this. Interior is a little bit tougher to systemize just because there's a lot more variables, and depending on where you live, there's just so many different types of housing, and knockdown, orange peel, slick walls, all the different sheens that people use. It's a little bit more complicated, but you can definitely figure out a system just like I have. And again, this is the kind of stuff that I'll give to you if you are one of my clients. But that's a good starting point. That's what I would recommend, depending on where you are in your business, how to address that, and just start putting together the numbers. Break down the house and all the different parts and how long does it actually take to paint that, and then how much are you going to pay your painters per hour to paint that, and then how much is your overhead. You got your liability insurance, office, whatever other overhead expenses that you have. You need to incorporate that in your cost so that you can try to get a fixed profit margin. What's really hard for new business owners is when, I made 50% on this job, but 10% on this job, and you're trying to figure out at the end of the year, if you do 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand, what are you actually going to make off of that? Which can be really hard to figure out in the beginning, but you'll get there, and that's where really good systemized estimating can help there tremendously. All right, thanks guys.